everyone, welcome to Laurel Island. This is going to be my focus for the German set. So this video is actually going to incorporate two different concepts. One will be my prep plans for the German set, which comes next month in September. And I'm also going to focus on this specific section of the island that has this really pretty water feature. And I'm going to share with you how you can do the same thing in your islands. So first of all, let's talk this water feature. I have already prepped this whole section of my island in thinking of a beautiful kind of Bavarian style. We've got lots of trees. I'm using elements from, of course, other sets. This is from the Alpine set. This path is from the Alpine set. A little shepherdess, which came during that same time, and the sheep. And this little grass here, that looks very alpine-y, and that goes with a kind of German set that we've got coming up. I've got this from Botanical Bliss, but that big pine in the back and the other trees I just feel like also go with this set, so they work. And of course I've got lots of these cozy courtyards. I'm making use of these all over the place. I'll talk more about that later, but let's jump right into the water features here. Now I've got several going on. First thing you notice is the grotto, the garden grotto. I love this one because it's a high flower count and it's just really pretty. This goes so nicely with one stacked just above it and angled slightly. Now you can have it exactly back to back, but I find it looks better to have a little bit of an angle. It makes it look more natural. Now the beautiful thing about the grotto is that you see that tree that sticks up right in the back. That's a natural camouflage for the second one, so it looks like the water is flowing through both sections. Now I've actually got another cozy courtyard hidden back here just for the trees and the greenery in it, because it gives you a lot of variety in your bushes and trees. The thing is, if I use this just for the sake of those trees, I do like to hide that wall, so I've purposely got these trees in the front here to cover that up. I've also am making use of, stop it, this, which is the primrose fence. This actually turns into a fence if you have more than one connected to each other, but by itself it makes a really pretty tree, so I wanted to make sure you could see that. Now I did want to hide the base of it because I don't want that big red flowery circle there. It doesn't look as natural, but this just gives a lot of different colors and variety. And a reminder again about these Beauty and Blooms from the Venice set. They work great in so many places. The only thing you need to remember is to tuck them behind other plants so that you hide that tile. So I've made sure to do that. So that's as far as the plants go. And of course, again, I've got all these. The Rainbow Grove I always love, and I feel like it fits well with this. Now, as I said, I've got my grottos here, and I felt like what went well into those was this cascade here. Now, I used to have this on my orchid right by my mill, which looked really pretty. And the reason I pulled it in is that I had gotten this from Sweep the Board, which is so pretty, and I knew I wanted to use it with my grotto. And originally I was thinking of using this little duck dwelling up in here with it, but you notice the watercolor is so different in both. Now you could use it, but it's like, why is that so light blue and this so dark blue? So I don't recommend mixing these. Now if I didn't have this, I could very easily use this with more tile streams and make a really lovely little pond area up here, and that would work great because the watercolor for the grotto actually looks like it is darker water fading to lighter, so it's fine. So that would work just fine. However, I really wanted to use that new one, so I decided that I would need to pull in something else with the same color. So I pulled this down beside it, so it looks like this is up higher and this is pouring down kind of at a similar level to the grotto. I have another one of these. This again was also on my orchid island by my mill, but I pulled it here just so it looks like it flows now into my swan pond. The beautiful thing about the swan pond is it has that lovely willow tree that kind of hides things in the back, so it looks like you could have water that flows right down into that. So it's just an optical illusion, but it works out nicely. This was also up in my orchid, all in that same area. But again, because of the angle of where that flows, the bottom part is hidden. And so you just have this really pretty back and forth with the waterfalls coming down. That makes it look really super pretty, and it really gives you the idea that you're going up a hill here where the water's flowing. Now, of course, granted, there is nothing for it to flow from, so it probably would have been better had I gotten it all the way to the corner edge here if you really wanted it to look more natural. However, you know what? I'm not that concerned about realism. I just want it to look visually appealing. So this is how I did that water feature. Now, if we go back to my orchid, I'll show you how I've changed things up to make it work, because I did take out a good amount of water there, all those water features. So I did switch that up. Oh, I forgot. I also have these water features out just because I want to show you my plans for the other side of Laurel. So those will be going back in. There won't be this big old fat gap there. But I did have to change all of this back area around a little bit in order to make sense of it, since I lost some two large 2 squares sections, so that really had to change things up. So I tucked my barn in behind the mill, added my cow in there. Then I put my alpine house way in the back here, and these are actually some fences that are being built. They are the stone fences, and they actually tie in perfectly with this little gate. I've got my tree covering up the edge of that path that goes in here. Got another tree covering this, so it looks like there's a couple pathways, and the car is back there. And fenced in is the little flowery area. I've got a bunch of the grass here still, and she is kind of reaping that grass there, so it looks like she's finished with one whole section. She's working on that one. My archery area here, and the horses. So it's changed around this back area a good amount since my last video. Again, like I said, to make use of the extra space I had, since I took out all of the stone and the water features that came down here. Now, if I get any duplicates of those, I will be putting those back in. And I've got to get this water put back in, because that's going to bug me too. But let's head back to Laurel again, and let's finish talking through ideas for my German set. Now, as I mentioned, I made this water feature as just a really natural part of this little Bavarian island set here. So, like I said, my little shepherdess is there with her sheep. I did put this cute little couple in there too, because I thought they were pretty right there. And then, of course, like I said, we've got these people, or this lady's just relaxing in the natural pool up there. But the goats and everything, I feel like, go really well with that kind of set. Alpine set and German set go nicely together, and they fit really well on Laurel because of the type of trees on this island already. Now, I am going to tuck this in somewhere. I'm not sure where, but I like to tuck it in behind other buildings. And this is just randomly put. I'll use these items. I'm not sure how. These little guys will most likely stay where they're at. And then the swing I might put down, I'm not sure, to the front. We'll see what I think about that. Now, this is the section where I have actually tried to plan out more items based on what we know for sure we're going to be getting in the German set. Now, this was posted by Tasia a while ago, so it's kind of giving us a basic look of what we're going to get. Now, we don't know the repeated items. They always have 8 new items they put in the seasonal set, but I'm not sure what's going to be repeated from last year's German set, so that's a little bit of a mystery. But I did put together a basic image of what I plan to do. Now, this is super rough looking because I don't know, again, what repeated images we're going to get. I don't have all my trees and my bushes in here properly. I don't think I'm probably going to use that fence going around. I do want something that will soften the tile edges, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. And once we get new scenes That'll make a really big difference of what I do end up getting. So all this is subject to change, of course. Now you'll notice that I have used, again, this little cozy courtyard here. And I'm going to be buying another one of those. Oh, now I've already forgotten the name of it. I'm actually close to having enough coins for that now. And I'm going to go ahead and scoot it over. This Venetian garden. I'm going to save that space open and build the new one that I get right there. And I'm going to go ahead and stick this over here in preparation. This just helps me to prepare when I can kind of lay things out a little bit how I want them to be. Now I want it to be 1, 2, 3, right there. That way I've got space for 2 of the German buildings that I want to stick in here. And those, of course, have tile that they're connected to. I'd like to do the alternating tile with a smaller tile that is worth 10 flowers a piece, and alternating that with the tasteful tile, which is only 3 a piece. Of course, this little guy is more. He's going to be in the new German set, but I already got him from some kind of a, I think it was a Detectives Needed, possibly. I can't remember. So he's going in there. Now, I'm really hopeful that I can get some of these other items. I'm not sure how these are going to be available, whether they'll be challenges or other things, but the cute little, they just look very fairy tale-y. And there's a couple other fairy tale images that I'm not sure when they're going to drop or again be available, but the tower I think is so pretty and cute. And then there's some other images I would incorporate. I'm also considering putting in one of those rotund towers. I'll show you one of those again because they're a great, nice high flower count. But they also look pretty. Like, for example, I've got one here with my Venice set, this verdant rotunda. It's worth 1,000 flowers. So that's a really great one to have. I will definitely put a lot more trees and such around. And of course, my tile, and I like to finish that off. Do you see here, even in my Venice set, how I've got it walled off, so it just looks like it's more finished. I don't like to have that tile just by itself up against grass. I don't think that looks very nice. I like to have something against the edge. So I've got waterfall columns here, bushes or flowers, and then of course the wall and then the road around it. So I just think that looks a little bit more finished and complete than having just tiles slap up against the grass only. So we'll see what I can do with that over in the German set on Laurel, because again, I'm not sure how that's all going to work, because I have to have enough space to even put bushes and trees to soften edges. This entry is kind of annoying how it's set up because nothing really matches the pathway. I'll probably end up putting a tree in place of this bush and take out this first part of the path so it just looks like it starts up a little further, but you don't have the edge to it. I always like to do that. This is all going to be different, changed around, but I want to keep these elements. I just am not sure how I'm going to use them. Now, if you'll remember, I used to actually have my Botanical Bliss items on Laurel, and I never cared for them. And the reason is that this island doesn't look like a tropical island. It's just not fit for that. It also doesn't really fit the style of those elements. I'm going to quickly take you to Willow and show you what I've got going on there, because this is my Botanical Bliss set now. I've got my India set going on, a good entryway here, which, see, that even just matches so much better with the entrance to this island. It fits so much better. Little pathway going all the way to my India set. And then it gets kind of crazy back here because I've just packed things in until I can complete this island. Now, my goal is to get Willow completed or almost completed through August here. If I could get Willow totally completed, that would open up Snowdrop for me, and then I could put all of these snowy items in there where they're going to finally live. I have scooted them around 3 different islands now. just trying to push them to where they need to be. So I am looking forward to getting Snowdrop opened up so I can use those. And look what I just spotted here. A little tree I didn't remove. Get me some more diamonds for that. Now I am set on compasses. If you notice, I do need to open up 40 more stars to get this opened, which won't be that long because I've got several things building. I've got Jack going out on a trip for flowers, so that won't take me long at all to get this done. I should realistically be able to finish this island by the end of the month. But what I was going to say is that while I need stars, I've got plenty of compasses already. I'm ahead on those, and you earn those so easily every time you are opening new scenes because of star boxes, etc. So really, I'm great with compasses. I'm just needing to get these scenes done, and this will eventually look really beautiful, and I will show you a tour of this once I am finished opening it up and once we get September done. So as usual, I'm always working on several things at one time. The goal is to have all my islands looking beautiful, but I have to do them a little at a time. So this next focus is going to be September, and we are going to get Laurel looking amazing in September with a gorgeous German set and the cute little Bavarian type style town here. So I hope you enjoy it. I will post, of course, a full video as I always do once that set is complete. Be sure to post if you have any specific things you'd like me to mention, or if I didn't mention something you had a question about, especially regarding the water feature here and how to make good use of that. As I said, I've got this extra water down here that was taken from my main orchid just so I could play around with ideas for the German set items that I know for sure we have. I just pull those into Photoshop, stick them over the squares that they are at, and then I can see if it kind of works or not. But I'm going to actually pull these back in where they belong so I can not have big gaps in my water. And of course I'll buy some more when I need them, but I don't know how many I will need or how I'm going to have that all set up, so I'll do that later. And you know what I just noticed? Look, that's a cute little ducky bottom right there with his little feet sticking up. That's so funny. I just noticed that. Anyway, I'll keep you posted on my progress. Let me know if you have any other requests for design tips or videos. And don't forget, I am posting weekly spotlight videos of other players' islands to show you their awesome features too. In fact, that's where I got the idea of the grottos back to back. And that's going to drop later. By the time this video's out, that one will have already posted actually. So make sure you're staying tuned to those as well for more great design ideas. All right, thanks so much for watching.